Today on Rappler, private planes will be banned from Ninoy Aquino International Airport by 2015.
Huwag po tayong umasa sa tsamba o sa agimat o anting-anting.
President Aquino hits Cavite's Bong Revilla and tells voters not to believe in amulets.
I didn't benefit anything from her, and then she was wary of me also because I'm too vocal for her.
And Una senatorial candidate Mitos Magsaysay denies she is a close ally of former President Arroyo. Hello, I'm Carlos Santamaria, sitting in for Maria Ressa. Welcome to Rappler, your social news network. Transportation Secretary June Abaya says the government will not allow private planes at Manila's International Airport by 2015. This is designed to ease congestion. Abaya says this will allow commercial airlines to mount additional flights. Private planes and flying schools operating in the Manila Airport will be transferred to Sangley Point in Cavite. Abaya says, quote, "We hope to operationalize Laguindigan in April this year." DOTC or CAAP will then take over Sangley and develop it as the general aviation hub. Small aircraft operators, including flying schools and private airlines of the country's richest, have been using NAIA for decades. NAIA congestion delays flights and causes numerous passenger complaints. President Benigno Aquino tells Cavite voters don't rely on chance, much less lucky charms. It's a dig at Bong Revilla, the amulet-touting senator catapulted to fame in national politics by his movies. Natasha Gutierrez reports.
Let the election season begin. A few days before the official start of the campaign period, President Benigno Aquino III visits vote-rich Cavite and endorses his local and senatorial candidates. Aquino takes the opportunity to push for the Liberal Party and slam his opponents. Aquino's target, the Revilla clan. Senator Ramon Bong Revilla is being groomed by the Lakas CMD as its 2016 presidential bet. His son Jolo is running for vice governor against Aquino's candidate Jay Lacson. Aquino pokes fun at the amulet Bong Revilla wears, which allegedly brings him luck. Revilla, like his father before him, movie star and Senator Ramon Revilla Sr., became box office stars in a string of movies about a local hero who wears an amulet. That also came in handy when they entered politics.
Paalala lamang po, asahan na po ninyong may mga nagpapanggap at may mga nakikisakay, di umano sa ating krusada. May mga nakikisuot ng kulay dilaw, pero hindi tiyak kung anong kulay ang nasa loobin. Huwag po tayong umasa sa tsamba. O sa agimat o anting-anting.
Cavite has about 1.6 million voters, one of the highest in the country. Aquino topped the polls in Cavite in 2010, garnering about 500,000 votes. He harnesses his influence in the province, urging them to vote for his gubernatorial bet. Former governor and incumbent Cavite 3rd District Representative Erneo Ayong Maliksi. Aquino says his candidates are the only ones he trusts will continue his reforms.
Simple lang naman po ang inyong pagpipilian. Sa isang ruta, ang landas kung saan pansariling kapakanan ng mga opisyal ang nanguhuna, habang naiiwang nakalugmok sa kahirapan at kawalang pag-asa ang buong Cavite. Sa kabilang ruta naman ay ang tuwid na daan kung saan walang pag-aalinlangan naglilingkod ang inyong mga pinuno.
Also in Cavite with Aquino are his senatorial candidates, his cousin Bam Aquino and former Akbayan Party representative Risa Hontiveros. The two lag behind in ratings and they need the exposure with the president.
Kailangan po yung trabaho dito mismo sa Cavite, dito mismo sa ating probinsya.
Para sa akin po, nais kong ipagpatuloy ang laban natin para sa kalusugan.
It's an LP event turned political rally. Traditionally, a province's support for a national leader does not translate to votes of the same party in the local level. This is why Aquino draws clear lines between his camp and the opponents, a strategy he hopes will work in the hotly contested province of Cavite. Natasha Gutierrez, Rappler, Cavite.
Zambales representative and Una senatorial candidate Mitos Magsaysay says she is not a close ally of former President Gloria Arroyo. Magsaysay says she only defends Arroyo when she feels the former president is being deprived of her right to due process.
That's why even in the Arroyo administration, they used to question whether I was part of the majority.
Right.
Because I sounded more like an opposition asking them questions, and her cabinet secretaries then would tell GMA, are you sure she's part of the majority? How come she keeps on calling us out in committee hearings? You know,
Magsaysay adds she did not benefit from Arroyo.
No more of it all. I'm the one who was least close to GMA in the past administration. I never went to presidential trips. I never had any extras as far as my PDAF is concerned. Because I didn't benefit anything from her, and then she was wary of me also.
Yes.
Because I'm too vocal for her.
Magsaysay also talks about her position on the controversial reproductive health bill and the sin tax bill. She says the RH bill is redundant because its provisions are already covered by an existing law, the Magna Carta for Women.
So I felt, why do we need to pollute too many laws in this country when existing laws already take care of them?
So you support the basic framework for it, the reason for the RH bill. You're saying it's just the laws already exist to actually make
exactly.
it happen.
And besides, I don't want that we never consider the taxpayers in this issue. Because when we asked the pro-RH side, how much money do you think we should be allocate for condoms and contraceptives? And they said 3 billion. And for me, that's such a big amount. It's too steep, considering.
Magsaysay also explains her opposition to the sin tax law, which would raise prices for alcohol and tobacco. She says there is no safeguard to protect tobacco farmers affected by the law.
A law. Because I don't just look at it at the point of view of the health issue. When you pass a law, you have to look at the overall picture and get everyone involved. All the stakeholders should be involved and should be heard. I don't mind increasing the taxes on tobacco and alcohol,
companies.
but it shouldn't be too steep that it will affect the industry itself.
Our social media post of the day is a comment on Rappler's Talk Thursday with Zambala's representative Mitos Magsaysay. Twitter user Malyari tweets, "The problem with Mitos is not her being an Arroyo apologist. It's that she's against major reform measures like RH." Reproductive health advocates celebrate the passage of the law that took almost 14 years. Now they're gearing up for their next fight, the 2013 elections. Carmela Fonbuena reports.
Mission accomplished. The men and women who worked hard to pass the reproductive health law gather in February to celebrate the historic passage of the controversial measure.
The real champion there, Edsel, mabuhay ka dito.
Were it not for the movement to promote reproductive health, I would not have known many of the legislators who changed my mind about legislators.
It's a night to recognize the champions inside and outside Congress, including the very first lawmakers who filed the measure back in the 11th Congress.
The former Speaker Jose de Benicia, came and told us mahirap at hindi pwede. Kasi nga na maraming problema at nakikiusap ang simbahan. It was Tita Josie who stood up and said, hindi po pwede. She said it very slowly, very carefully, pero may dalang takot sa mata niya. And Speaker Jose de Benicia cannot say anything.
The reason that we finally managed to get it through was because the other side thought they had the numbers. They were very confident about it. And in fact, numbers naman was quite fluid. Pero nagawa natin. Mabuhay, congratulations sa inyo lahat.
It's also a night to remind themselves that the passage of the RH law does not end their battle. There are petitions before the Supreme Court seeking to nullify the law. They should make sure that the law is actually implemented and that funding is guaranteed.
We must assure in the forthcoming May elections that RH advocates get the people's mandate so that adequate and responsive appropriations will be allocated for the RH law.
They sing, they dance, they cheer. A well-deserved break before they face the next battle. Carmela Fonbuena, Rappler, Manila.
The new and tougher anti-money laundering law excludes casinos and internet gaming. On Wednesday, Congress ratifies amendments to expand the coverage of the Anti-Money Laundering Act. Senator Teofisto Quingona says casinos and internet gaming were excluded at the request of the House and of the Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation. He says they excluded casinos from coverage because House members warned it would deter investors. The passage of the law comes 5 weeks before the opening of Entertainment City, a $4 billion Manila casino complex. The government may allow Philex Mining Corporation to resume its Padcal mine operations as early as next week. Mines and Geosciences Bureau Leo Hasareno says they are considering Philex's request. Philex wants to produce tailings and fill the void in its compromised pond. Heavy rain in August 2012 caused a leak in Padcal's tailings pond. Foreign consultants hired by Philex recommend a process called beaching, where 3.5 million tons of fresh tailings must be dumped into the pond to push the water away. Hasareno says there is no other way to fill the void. Representatives from indigenous groups also filed a petition for Philex to resume operations, saying the suspension order hurt their livelihood. Less than 3 months after the death of a U.S. Marine in Makati, the alleged killer is identified. A policeman and digital imaging expert examines the CCTV footage and points to a hand coming close to the victim's neck. In the next frame, the victim's neck is gushing blood. He later collapses on the side of the road. The witness presented by the prosecution did not identify the assailant by name, but says his description matches that of 24-year-old Juan Alfonso Abastillas. Abastillas and 3 other Filipinos are charged with the murder of George Anicaw on November 24, 2012. The judge will rule on the petition for bail in 2 weeks. Let's now look at Rappler's Rap for today, a list of the 10 most important events around the world you shouldn't miss. At number 2, the world is closely watching North Korea's upcoming atomic test. Scientists say it will give a glimpse of where its nuclear program is headed. More importantly, what type of device is detonated and how. Speculations point to the first-time test of a uranium device. The International Institute for Strategic Studies says this means the North can produce weapons-grade uranium, which, quote, doubles its pathways to building more bombs in the future. At number 4, the White House bows to Congress' demands to release its legal basis for the killing of U.S. citizens by armed drones. The move is seen as an attempt to ease pressure on John Brennan, the architect of the drone strategy. Brennan has an upcoming Senate confirmation hearing as CIA director on Thursday. The Associated Press reports President Barack Obama ordered the release of the 50-page legal rationale to Senate Intelligence Committee members. In September 2011, drones killed U.S.-born cleric Anwar al-Awlaki and his son Saeed al-Shari, a senior al-Qaeda commander. The revelation is an embarrassment to the White House, which pressured news outlets to kill the report for 12 months on grounds of national security. At number 6, software makers Microsoft and Symantec disrupt a global cybercrime operation that infected thousands of PCs with malicious software. Technicians raid data centers on Wednesday to shut down servers of the cybercrime operation known as Bamital botnet. The servers communicated with an estimated 300,000 to 1 million PCs. The companies say the operation hijacked internet search results, installed computer viruses for identity theft, and fraudulently charged businesses for online ad clicks. Microsoft and Symantec offer users of infected PCs free tools to restore access to web searches. And at number 9, supporters of King Richard III reconstruct the face of the medieval king. Richard III is portrayed in history as a murderous villain who killed his nephews to usurp the throne. The Richard III Society commissions the reconstruction after a skeleton found under a parking lot in Leicester, England, was confirmed to belong to the king. The society says the reconstruction gives a human face to an unfairly maligned king. Scientists use CT scans of the skull and portraits as reference for the reconstruction. For the full top 10, visit Rappler.com's The Wrap. The Philippine Ascals are off to a great start of their 2013 campaign as they beat Myanmar 1-0 in their friendly match in Yangon on Wednesday. OJ Porteria scores the winning goal in the 77th minute for the Philippines in the FIFA-sanctioned international friendly against the White Angels. The Ascals were effective in the midfield at the start of the second half. That's Rappler's Newscast for today, Thursday, February 7, 2013. Visit Rappler.com and watch our newscast Monday to Friday. Tell us how you feel in our mood meter and help us crowdsource the mood of the day. I'm Carlos Santamaria. As we say at Rappler, tomorrow begins today.